Hi, and welcome back to another series in the literature review. In the last video, I broke down the literature review into 5 manageable steps, and I got a few messages and one comment saying that I should go deeper into the PM method for writing paragraphs. So we are going to look at that today, and I hope I will deliver. So let's try transforming your writing from a dry list of steady said this, the steady said that, into a compelling, critical, and a smooth flowing narrative. The PER method, which is the PEER method, is the single biggest upgrade you can give to your academic writing. And I hope by the end of this series, you'll be able to use it like a pro. So a quick recap, the PER method, PER stands for point, evidence, explanation, and return. So think of it as this essential anatomy of every single paragraph in your literature review. It forces you to be clear, critical, and connected. So to make this super practical, let's continue with our example topic, the impact of Instagram fitness content on mental health of teenage girls. So let's start with a common but weak way of writing. And I'm sure you've probably seen paragraphs like this. I'll put it on the screen. So Smith et al. 2022 found that exposure to fitness images led to increased body dissatisfaction in a sample of 100 teenage girls. Similarly, Jones 2021 conducted an experiment and found that girls who viewed fitness content reported higher levels of anxiety compared to a control group. Again, Garcia 2022 also reported a correlation between time spent on Instagram and disordered eating behaviors. While this might sound cool to some people, but there's definitely something wrong with this. So what is wrong with this is that it's like a summary shopping list. Earlier I said a shopping list. So this is the shopping list type of writing I was talking about. It's boring and it lacks any critical voice. The keyword there is critical. And it doesn't really tell the reader why these studies matter or how they connect. It's just one fact after the other. Let's build this exact same information using the PER method. So the first step is looking at a P, which is your point. That is the topic sentence. And this is the most important sentence of your paragraph. It is your claim and your argument that you're making. So it tells the reader exactly what this paragraph will prove. It should be strong, declarative in a way. So it should be a strong declarative statement. So a weak point would be several studies have looked at fitness and mental health. That is too vague. It doesn't really state anything. But a strong point would be a consistent body of experimental evidence demonstrates that direct exposure to fitness content has an immediate negative impact on the psychological well-being of adolescent girls. You've made a strong point. You see the difference. The strong point is a clear, arguable statement that the rest of the paragraph must now support. So we move to step 2, which is the E, your evidence, which is the proof. So you back up the point that you earlier stated with a specific evidence from literature. So you cite literature. This way you then bring in your Smith et al., Jones et al., Jones et al., whichever you have. But notice that you are not just listing them. You're actually selecting them to serve your point. For instance, we have something like, for example, a controlled laboratory experiment by Smith et al. Showed that participants who viewed fitness images for just 10 minutes reported significantly higher levels of body dissatisfaction than those who viewed neutral travel images. You can also have something like, building on this, Jones 2021 replicated these findings in a week-long longitudinal study demonstrating that daily exposure was linked not only to body image concerns, but also to a measurable increase in anxiety. So you are not just randomly naming the artists. You are briefly describing what they did and what they found in a way that directly proves your earlier points. Then we move on to the other E, which is your explanation, which is where you become critical. So your critical voice. So this is the part that separates a good writer from a great one. This is mainly your analysis field. So you explain why this evidence matters, how it works, or what its limitations are. You are just trying to add your intellectual voice because you're not just writing a creative writing, you are writing a critical write-up, a research. So you can have something like, This suggests that the negative impact is not just correlational but can be directly triggered by the content itself. The idealized and often digitally altered physiques presented in these fitness posts appear to create a powerful social comparison where young women cannot measure up. So you are interpreting the evidence for the reader. You are answering the question like, so what? Because you've stated the points, you've added the evidence, but so what? So you're now trying to explain that so what to whoever is going to read. You get it? Then we go to the step 4, which is your return, the return. This is just talking about the link. You close the loop. It's more like you have worked in a circle. Now you are closing the loop back to where you started. So you return to the main point that you stated, rephrasing it to reflect the new evidence you have just provided. So this works in a way by reinforcing your argument and creating a transition to the next paragraph. So you have to close the paragraph here before you move to the next one. So something like, therefore, these experimental studies firmly establish that fitness content acts as an active cause or pathogen for poor mental well-being in this demographic, moving the research from a simple correlation into a realm of identifiable cause and effect. Don't mind the words I'm saying, just focus on how it's structured and what it's meant to do, okay? So let's put the entire paragraph together now. Let's put it together so that you can see where each step in the PM method aligns. You feel the flow is no longer a list now. It's a persuasive mini argument. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay? So we can also do a quick second example on a different theme. Let's say, imagine your paragraph is now talking about the limitations of the current solutions. We can also have a different example like this one. So you see how the PM method forces you to be critical and forward-looking. You are not just describing a person's study. You are explaining why its results are significant for your entire field. So that is it. That is how the PM method can be used practically. And I would say you should go and take this as a homework by taking any weak paragraph from your current literature draft, one that just probably lists the studies, and rebuild it using the PM method. And I promise you the difference will be like night and day, because this technique will make your literature review sharper, more authoritative, and even much more enjoyable to read. Remember, we are doing it like a story, so this is the engine of your story. Let me know if you found this helpful and what other thing you found unclear in this series.